Money Heist Part 5, that thrilling series ending, explained by Kayla Cobb. It's been a non-stop roller coaster ride filled with surprising romances, gut-wrenching deaths, and scuba-related crimes, but sadly.A show that was once on the verge of cancellation has now gone on to become one of the most watched series worldwide. Wondering how this heart-pounding saga ended? Much like the professor and his team, we have your back. Money Heist. How did Money Heist end? We're going to try to keep things as simple as possible, but this one may still get confusing. Welcome to heisting, baby. Early in the Bank of Spain heist, the professor, Álvaro Morte, revealed how he was going to smuggle out tons of gold in a matter of hours. The plan was to melt down the gold and, using an oil drill he and his brother Berlin, Pedro Alonso, shoot the liquified gold out of the bank in record time. That's the plan the professor and his team knew. But that was it. Fearing that any one of them could crack under the pressure from the government, the professor didn't tell anyone about where the gold was going. That meant hiding the location from even himself. That's an important detail. The professor and Lisbon in Money Heist Part 5. By the middle of a family tradition, Colonel Tamayo, Fernando Cayo, was stuck between a rock and a hard place. Without gold in the bank, Spain was on the brink of total economic collapse. But the people who took that gold were refusing to tell him where it was. Tamayo tried to bully Denver, Jamie Lorente, into a confession, promising him that if he cooperated he could escape a free man with millions of euros. Denver wavered, but he ultimately refused. That forced Tamayo to play the professor's game. You know how the professor repeatedly said either both of them win or both of them lose. This was what he was talking about. The professor promised to return the gold to the Bank of Spain on the condition that Tamayo ensured his team's safety and give a speech to the public. Tamayo accepted. True to his word, the second Tamayo ended his speech, trucks filled with gold bars started to arrive at the bank. But you've seen this show before. That was only part of the plan. Those bars weren't actually gold but brass painted to look like gold. Tamayo threatened to kill the professor and his team over this deception, but the professor was once again one step ahead. What's gold, he argued, other than a psychological concept? As long as Spain thought it had its gold again, it had gold. It's not like countries buy resources using physical bars of metal. Tamayo could either privately pass this secret down to the Prime Minister and publicly become a national hero for saving Spain from the brink of economic collapse, or he could tell the truth. And the truth involved Spain's financial failure and widespread ruin. No matter what Tamayo did, he wouldn't find the gold. So he could either accept the fraud, or sacrifice everything. In the final 15 minutes of the episode, it was unclear which choice Tamayo made. As Coldplay's Fix You played, the government official announced the deaths of Rio, Miguel Herrán, Bogotá, Jovic Cuco-Arayan, Manila, Belén Cuesta, Pamplona, Helsinki, Darko Peric, Stockholm, Esther Acebo, Palermo, Rodrigo de la Serna, Lisbon, Sierra Ituno, and the professor. But just like when they convinced Tamayo that they hid the gold in the ocean, that was another misdirect. Toward the end of the episode, each member of the team triumphantly emerged from his or her body bag. They were free, and they were about to be rich. The finale then jumped to 24 hours after the heist. It's reunion time. As Denver reunited with his crew, the professor addressed his team. It didn't all work out the way we wanted. We're not all here. But, well, we did achieve something, he said. At the end of the day, they did get away with robbing the Bank of Spain and they even got a high-powered escort from the Spanish government. Not bad. Rafael in Money Heist Part 5. What's Rafael's deal again? Remember how no one in the bank could know where the gold was going? Enter Rafael, Patrick Criado, Berlin's son and the professor's nephew. Rafael and his girlfriend Tatiana, Diana Gomez, were in charge of hiding the gold. They did a great job of keeping it hidden in a nice little house. At least, that was the case until loose cannon Alicia Sierra, Najwa Nimri, showed up in search of some leverage. It looked as though Sierra was either going to take the gold for herself or turn it over to Tamayo in exchange for immunity. But at the last minute, she gave Rafael a note from the professor. Yep, she's team professor now. What happened to the gold in Money Heist? We know the gold isn't in the Bank of Spain and it's not in Rafael's nice little house. So where is it? In Money Heist's final moments, the professor asked Sierra that same question. Cryptically, She revealed that she moved the entire house full of gold and put it somewhere in Portugal. Now these dead men and women just have to go abroad and get it. How did Money Heist end for everyone? More on. As traumatic as this experience was, it had a fairly happy ending. After Lisbon also called out the professor for being addicted to heists, which is a literal episode of Rick and Morty, he proposed to her. She quickly said yes, so they can now be criminals ever after. Denver also got a romantic ending. After sharing a kiss with Manila, Denver changed his mind and decided to stick with Stockholm. One of the show's final moments was a romantic kiss backlit by the sun between the two of them as Manila happily watched. As for everyone else, they walked away as well as can be expected. Rio was still heartbroken about Tokyo's Ursula Corbero death, and there was a nice moment between the on-again, off-again Helsinki and Palermo. But ultimately everyone seemed pretty psyched to be free multi-millionaires. Now on to their next heist, presumably, the moon.